riding down Highway 61. Sides of the roads all lined with fields, nothing but sunset in the windshield. Feel it as soon as I ride into town. This is where I go to slow down. Miles and miles of soybeans and corn. I'm in the place where the blues was born. About a mile from the big muddy river, place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can feel my worries drift away from being out in the sun all day. No matter where in the world I go, I'll always find home on the banks of that oxbow.
What's up, guys? Brad Chappell back at the Spring Grizzly Show 2024. I got the stash at the end.
Cha-ching.
Go ahead and do a little introduction then.
Yeah, I guess.
You haven't done one, I don't think.
I kind of have. Guide on Grand Lake, Oklahoma. Fish a little bit everywhere, all over the U.S., doing some tournaments. We got Big Dog, Larry Knowles. Let's see, Wren Lake, Illinois. Wren Lake, Illinois. We got another crappie fishing brother to give us some tips. We're going to kind of pick his brain a little bit about some post-spawn mistakes. So I guess I'm going to let Larry start with, let's hear a mistake that you think a lot of anglers do in the post-spawn fishing. What's your number one mistake? What do you think people do that would help them maybe do better if they switch things up a little bit?
Well, I think, probably a lot of people, when they get to spawning, a lot of guys I know at my lake at home, they fish brush when they spawn, and I think they have a hard time leaving that.
Yeah.
They want to stick with that through, they think, oh, man, the whole month of April or whatever, you got to fish the bushes, but, them fish don't spawn all at the same time, and they come in and out, but you'll get on a pattern or in the bushes and stay there for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say post-spawn's kind of a weird thing for me because when is it really post-spawn?
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, are we fishing for post-spawn fish, pre-spawn fish? I think you can do all three at the same time.
Oh,
you can
absolutely.
You can fish for pre-spawn fish. You can fish for spawning
Until
fish.
it's all the way.
Until it's all the way. So when I think of post-spawn, I'm thinking almost summer.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be mid-June to July when you finally have all the fish post-spawn.
Absolutely.
And that's when I'm going to start pushing out and finding some brush piles or ledges and stuff where they're just done. They're out there, they're wore out, they're stressed, and they're ready to eat some fish. But it definitely seems like you can get some finicky fish in post-spawn too.
Well, that's what really comes to my mind whenever we're thinking about post-spawn. A lot of times, and we've talked about it, especially Dustin and I on today's bite, but downsize.
Yeah.
Downsizing in post-spawn is probably one of the biggest keys because guys get used to during the spawn, you can upsize. Pre-spawn, spawning fish, you can use larger style baits at that point in my mind,
sure.
in my
Well,
experience.
them fish are hungry when
They're
they
hungry, they're PO'd.
Aggressive,
and you drop something just about anything in front of them, they'll bite it.
Yep.
You get to this post-spawn time frame, and all of a sudden you're like, I can see these fish on live scope. They're grumpy. They're not moving.
Yeah.
They're not wanting to do anything at this point.
Maybe follow it a little bit. But
Maybe.
Yeah.
They might acknowledge it. They might not.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think it comes down to me, I've learned over the last couple of years, downsize and post-spawn is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It made the total difference for me. I recall several years ago going out and testing out a bait, and I was very leery on the size of small baits.
Mm-hmm.
All before post-spawn. Before then, I've always used bigger baits, 2.5 inch strollers, of course, long line and different things like that. But I was really forced to use a small bait during the post-spawn. And then I got confidence by using those small baits And then now it's gotten to where I like using small baits, you know, I wouldn't say more than any other size, but it's right there with it.
I would definitely say I run into using small baits. I catch myself doing it year round.
Yeah.
Even when fish are aggressive, I just have so much confidence in if this fish ain't going to eat this little bait, it ain't going to eat a lot of other things.
Absolutely.
When I've proved that wrong a lot, but I get stuck into that because I get so much. I guess when I run into a big school of fish and we're all dropping and my clients are dropping and they're like, they're here, they're just not biting. And then you find that right bait, that little bait, and you downsize to a little tiny bait, 80-bit slab hunter, 80 bits, you know, when they come out with those, total game changer. But we start dropping those little baits and you start catching those fish when we just sat there 20 minutes with a bigger bait and they didn't move, didn't want to follow it. And then we drop little ones, start catching. Gives you that confidence that you're like, okay, we got them now. And then you start using it a lot more.
I know for me, it kind of trips my clients out when they get in the boat and, you know, we're getting ready to go out and they ask what kind of baits we're using. Most of the time they're going to ask me, where's the minnows? I don't, you know, if a minnow's in my boat, there's going to be an extremely tough bite. I mean, everybody that knows me at this point,
here.
it is going to be rough. I think last year, less than 5 times I went fishing with live bait.
Wow.
Less than, I mean, they don't know who I am at the bait shop.
Yeah,
Right.
That is
They
funny.
have no idea who I am,
Yeah.
which is fine.
You see me
fine.
using a minnow, it's a bad day.
Saves you a lot of money that way. Saves you a lot of money, but it is
Minnows'
funny.
lives matter.
Yes.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
So if you guys are
We're
going
pro
on,
minnow life.
Yeah, that's right.
if you guys are going on a guided trip with Brad and you walk up and see minnows, turn around. Save
No,
your money. Save
no,
your money.
We're gonna give
Head
them.
home.
We're gonna do all we can to catch them. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but
man.
I know it's gonna be a tough bite at that point. But going back postpone thinking was, all right. Literally, postpone would break me down because I couldn't get them before these live baits and these itty baits came out onto the market. There really wasn't any out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't have confidence with them.
Yeah.
But right after postpone, I started using them and gained confidence so fast by using these
And
smaller
it's funny
baits,
because
profiles.
post-spawn, I'd almost think it's easier. That's the easiest time of year to find the fish, but
Yeah.
the hardest time of year to catch them.
Right.
But I feel like you can really find fish in the post-spawn and fill your screen up with them, but catching them is a different story.
You know, my favorite time to crappie fish, and I get this question asked all the time. When is your favorite time to go crappie fishing? And flat out for me, without a shadow of a doubt, is the month of June.
Yeah.
It's
Post-spawn.
after
Post-spawn.
postpone those
Hungry.
fish. That's exactly right, Larry. You know, these fish are sitting back out there, and you give them, you know, they get a little funk. I'd say 7 to 10 days. That's where you can still catch them with this smaller profile baits. But right after that, those fish are hungry.
For sure.
They are hungry. They're ready to get back to their regular everyday life, and they're wanting to gain all that body mass they lost during the spawning
Exactly.
process.
Post-rut for deer. I always bring up deer hunting because I'm made up with the hunting, but bucks are ran down. They've been running and not eating.
Where you kill them at?
Yeah, well, I kill them everywhere. but what do you mean?
Like food sources.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
after rut, they're all ran down, they're wore out, stressed, and they're starting to pack on the food. You're going to be in corn piles, and you're going to be in corn fields and
Yes.
crop fields because them deer are just starving and ran down. It's the same exact thing with crappie. I mean, a lot of species do the same thing, same idea.
Right.
But that's definitely kind of what I picture. I mean, I'm always resorting to something.
You always wanna go to
hunting.
deer hunting.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
for sure.
this is
Something's
not
wrong.
the hunting
It's the
connection.
camo
That's
hoodie that's throwing me off. It's the camo.
is that
hoodie.
it?
You look at his
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah.
page and he's deer. I mean,
I know it.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of, Dustin, show the new hoodie.
Yeah, look at you. Now I had to pull some strings to get this, but I got it now.
He did a lot of crying, guys.
Yep. He said he had one with a couple holes in the back of it, so he gave me this one. But he said make sure to show the front. So here we are.
Well, our gear, you can find it if you're looking for some Crappie Connection gear on Crappie Forever's website. Those guys got a great thing going in crappie conservation and management and such. So all the proceeds for those guys, they go directly back into that organization. A percentage of all of our gear that's purchased goes back into those guys,
awesome.
even help them. So
Yep.
you were looking for it, look up Crappie Forever. The camo hoodie sold out.
Oh, yeah.
Dustin
Sold
couldn't
out
get
quick.
one. They
So
sold
upset.
out so quick.
So upset.
But we're going to get them back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've got plenty of the gray right now.
I've seen more camo hats. I mean, you know, they're good looking hats.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. anyways.
You let me go on. Go
Yeah,
on.
go ahead. No, you got it, buddy.
Well, I was just going back to the profiles and mistakes.
yeah.
But Larry, I'm gonna throw it back at you real quick
Okay.
and talk about some of the ways you like fishing for these post-spawn fish.
Well, back while you was talking a while ago, I tried to. Wren Lake is where I fish in Wren Lake. As far as the spawn and the post spawn, I fish in both places because I only fish flooded timber. During the spawn, I'll fish from 8 to 12 foot of water, and then after the spawn, where I fish, them fish do not leave. They live there. Mm-hmm. They spawn in that 8, 12 foot of water. So I'm kind of a unique situation there where I fish because I don't have to leave.
Yeah, which we learned with that biologist here on a Tuesday night show, which we do every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Shout out to Today's Bite. If you guys ain't have nothing to do on Ain't Have Nothing to Do.
I love it.
If you guys ain't got nothing to do on Tuesday nights, we haven't missed one for a year. I'm proud of us. I'm
know.
so proud of us. 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. But
Central Standard Time.
we had a biologist on there, and he was explaining to us some fish, I mean, a pretty big majority of fish don't move more than a mile their whole life.
Right.
Their whole life.
I believe that
So
so
you've got an
much,
area
yes.
like that you're talking about, and I feel
Yes.
like I'm not quite that fortunate in a lot of places. I feel like they move a lot, but it sounds like you've got one of those fortunate places
Oh.
the fish just stay there. They live
just
there.
a
And,
spot.
yeah.
I
That's
put it
just
at
a
the boat
spot.
ramp there at Ina on Wren Lake, and
Ooh, we're giving
I
spots.
don't have
Nice.
to. Oh, I don't care. I share my spots. I just tell
Better
people
than
where
me,
I
man.
fish. But I won't burn a gallon of gas in that 150 Mercury 4-stroke. I won't burn a gallon of gas on a trip.
Yeah, that's
Because
awesome.
I go right out from the boat ramp into a place it's called the Refuge. They close it during duck and goose season.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can't get inside these buoys. But when it's not, I just go in there. And when I go into that timber, I just shut my motor off, put the trolling motor down, my live scopes
There
on
they
the
are.
trolling motor, and I just go to looking for fish. Mm-hmm. And I'll get in that like 8 to 12, 14 foot of water like I'm looking for, and I just look at trees. It's just all trees. I just go looking for a
They'll
fish
be there
to catch.
doing something. Won't
Yes.
Let's kind of talk about location. Typically, and Larry's got a little honey hole that we're all going to go there and fish
Yeah.
one day.
There'll be people there.
But I think of postpone and crappie on locations on a big waterway and such, and people always ask, how do you find fish? If you're a spawn time fisherman and you catch them pre-spawn, those fish will be back at that same pre-spawning
that's about to say.
locations in that post-spawn era.
Yeah. I would say post-spawn, the first thing I'm looking for is going to be the pre-spawn areas, big flats and stuff where they're going to pull off of the bank. You almost picture wherever they're spawning, just back up about 100 to 200 yards in that general area, and you're going to have those same fish stacked where you've been beating them on the bank pretty good. And, man, they will stack up. That's almost, like you said, you find those stumps. You always talk about finding those
Breeder
like,
stumps.
Yeah,
Stumps.
breeder stumps. Yeah.
That's a whole nother show.
Man, yeah.
Well, the trees I fish in Wren Lake, when you get if they're going to spawn, you might go into 8 or 9 foot of water, and when they're spawning, you'll see maybe with your live scope, you'll see maybe 3 fish on a tree.
Yeah.
And then at a post spawn, you go out there and you go back out when the spawn's getting
Might
ready
be
to be
100
over, because
there.
you'll go out into the deeper water and there'll be one fish. And the ideal deal is catch him sitting in a fork of a tree.
Oh, yeah.
That's just
He's caught, ain't he?
automatic.
Yes, for sure. So I guess back to mistakes, I would say one of the biggest mistakes we brought up at the beginning is not changing your profile of bait to maybe just downsizing, dropping it down to something as small as you can get it if you're having a hard time getting those post-spawn fish to bite.
I'm going to throw another one out for you guys.
Ooh.
Larry, you ready?
I'm ready. I hope I'm ready.
Get ready now.
I'm ready.
Okay. Top 3 colors post-spawn crappie.
Ooh. You hit me hard with
I
that
know.
one.
I
You
know.
hit me hard with
I like him thinking.
I'm gonna throw my 3 out while you're thinking, Larry. So that way you got time. So I'm gonna do bone white chartreuse. That's
Right.
gonna be one of them. And because I'm gonna pull out
that
something.
Larry had that one in his mind.
I'm
I
gonna
think.
pull out
You
something.
shot me down.
Shut him down.
And I'm always going with, when I get into finicky fish,
I know we're going.
I'm going as natural as I can possibly be. So I'm going with a live minnow,
Ooh.
a live minnow color, not live minnow. But live
I
minnow
started
color.
saying we contradicted
Yeah. Live minnow color. And man, last but not
I know
least,
where you're going.
Last but not least, I'm going to switch it up on you, I bet. I'm going to do bleeding shad.
You did. I
I'm
wasn't
gonna do
expecting
bleeding
that
shad.
one.
That's one of my favorite Grand Lake colors, and for post spawn, that's what made me love that color so much. It's that one color, that one jig you can drop down. You're like, you know what? Watch this. These fish ain't biting. Watch me. This guy just left this brush pile and said they ain't biting. Watch what this bleeding shad does. So that's one of my go-to Grand Lake colors. Bleeding shad for clear water. That's my 3.
Well, let's
shocked
see
me.
now.
Yeah.
That doesn't leave me with anything. Yeah, I like to stay natural a lot. And to contradict what I just said, my favorite, I don't never switch it hardly anything. I use
Come
it all.
on, Larry.
I use it year round on Red Lake, and it's hot pink.
He's got a year-round
Hot
spot and a
I
year-round
use hot
jig.
pink with
Oh,
it.
man.
I use
Hot
hot
pink.
pink almost all year round.
No
I don't like
joke.
you anymore, Larry. You know, I'm not a pink guy.
But
He's
then,
not a pink guy.
but I like natural colors. If I go to a strange lake, I mean,
give us
especially if
the
the
color
water's-
name. Besides hot pink, is that the actual color name for a top
well, it's
hat?
Cupid for top hat.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cupid.
We wanna
And
know what
it's
it
a,
is.
Yeah,
it's a
we gotta
real
get the
it's a
name.
hot pink bait, and
What's this one right here? That's pretty dang natural.
that's a
looking.
chameleon.
Chameleon.
Yeah, it's a.
All right, that's a
It's
looking
kind of
minnow
you
looking
can hold
shit.
it. I mean, it's you
That's
get
a
up to
good
the
one.
light, and it's
Okay.
got green. And,
Yeah, I like that
Is
one.
that the top 3 or just one that Dustin threw out there since he saw it?
That covers the whole deal.
He
there.
brought
It's
it
got
here.
the
He
white
brought it
and-
here.
It caught his attention.
Yeah.
But we got an alien. It's a natural color. Then we got one sparkles. It's kind of a natural color by top hat.
Okay.
And
That's
the sparkles is kind of a Christmas tree colored. You know,
Okay.
it's kind of a green. It's got red and silver and blue flake in it.
Yeah.
And the alien's it's a brownish kind of a brownish colored with it's got some flake in it. It gives it some fly.
Yeah.
But I like to match the hatch a little bit. You know, back to making mistakes and modifying your baits. Is Live Scope taught me more than anything to not be afraid to take a pair of scissors if you're using plastic and go out there and let that fish do, if they're not biting, do stuff to that bait with your scissors, shorten it,
For sure.
or cut
Spit on
V's in the tail or whatever, and all of a sudden let that fish tell you what it's wanting you to do. You know,
Absolutely.
You know, people that just a mistake you could make, like I fish that Cupid all the time. A lot of guys, I think, make a mistake of sticking with one thing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bite on this. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've
you
seen
know,
that a ton.
and especially if you're fishing a lake that's got black crappie in it. You know, black crappie, they can
I think they're
they
always
can
in a
humble you in a
postpone
hurry.
mood.
You
Yeah,
know?
they are. They are.
You know, they're either on
sure.
or they're, you know, yeah, I'm not eating that, and
Yeah,
you don't
for
have anything in your boat that I'm going to eat.
Yep.
I know for me, I've got a couple colors in mind. I'm gonna stop it at 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to stop mine. At
I don't
3
think
'cause you
you'll
know,
guess.
I was gonna say my favorite color, but they all sold out here at Grizzly. I'm scared I'm gonna run out of them if I keep saying it too
Yeah,
long.
I know what that one is. I'm
Yeah.
shocked you didn't say it. But I'm gonna say my top 3 postpone, and I'm really thinking of that for me in that May June time frame. June bug chartreuse and the itty bit slab hunter,
That's a good
Yeah.
color.
and
Itty
that's
bit slab hunter.
And I don't know, and this next color kind of goes in correlation with that, and it's going to be the top hat heel topper.
It's it's about to become our number one selling bait. You know, the teddy bug with white and chartreuse right now is our number one seller. But
What's the name of it? It called
Hilltopper.
Hilltopper.
You know, that's where Derek that owns the company. The sports team there in Mount Pulaski, Illinois, is the Hilltoppers, and he named. He
I
named
know that's not why I like the
yeah.
color, but
yeah.
but anyhow, the Hilltoppers, it's kind of a June bug color with a chartreuse tail, and it's got gold flake in it, and
I
it's
can't say I've seen
it's
any of
it's
those.
going off the rack really good. I mean, we probably sold more of them here at Grizzly this week than
Cool.
And my-
anything else.
my third color goes back to
Dude, if you don't say mud dauber, I don't
no,
know.
I'm not.
Wow. We're switching it up today. I like it.
I'm living life a little different.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm thinking postpone. Mm-hmm. It's not far from it.
Okay.
Grenada Gold.
Grenada Gold.
There it is.
Grenada Gold. Yeah. And you know, the name kind of fools a lot of people because you just think, well, that bait's only going to work on Grenada Lake.
Yeah.
But let me tell you.
Hey, that color has a special place in my heart. It won me a big fish at Crappie Masters at Grenada Lake. The itty
Who
bit,
come up with a color?
the itty bit Grenada Gold. I caught a 311, I believe, or 308 something to win big fish for that tournament in the fall or early fall, whatever. But that was a blast. And it was a cool experience with Grenada Gold. So that's a special color in my heart. I don't use it often, but these fish were picky, and it was more of a tough bite, post spawn bite, and man, we put it on
Bingo.
them. Put it on them.
Did that fish hammer it?
No, it didn't actually. I was in 1.5 foot of water, and I could bear. I mean, the whole screen was full of the whole water. Its back was almost out of the water, so I really didn't feel much. I seen it move, and I just yanked, hoping to goodness she had it.
Wow,
She
and it did.
Yeah, she did.
You know, you done that live scope sometimes. Do you think that fish is following it? And you think, man.
Yeah, you think
then
it's-
all of a sudden you
yeah.
think, well, I'm going to get, you know,
and there it
you
is.
just hit, and it's
Yeah.
on there.
I tell everybody
Crazy.
hook sets
Are
are free.
Yes,
free of
they've not
charge.
tax jerking yet.
Nah, I'd rather have somebody
Yeah.
set the hook than not set the hook.
for
So if
sure.
you're going on a guide trip, just go ahead. When I say set the
100%.
hook, do it.
Yep.
Right,
Regardless
exactly.
of the
Yeah.
field. Hint. But I think it's been fun, guys. Definitely appreciate Larry jumping on here this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Brad.
Yeah, we've been
bet you
I
appreciate
tried to get you last year and just didn't work out in time frames or whatever. We got you this time. You
Well,
can't
you can't
get
run
out
now.
of it.
Yeah,
'cause
I'll
it's
just
been
stick
done.
around till something happens.
Guys, make sure you hit that follow, hit that subscribe button, give us some comments. Also, something very important for everybody that watches on Facebook, do me a little favor and invite your fishing buddies to the page. We're getting bigger and better every show with great sponsors, and I can't even name them all, but Top Hat, Bobby Garland, I mean, Crappie Magnet, that's just 3 of the good bait companies right there, and there's more poles and everything else. But cannot do with those sponsors as well. You love what we're doing, help us out, invite your friends. We will see you Tuesday night, the Stash and I.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday nights, Today's Bite on YouTube and Facebook. Till next time, you got Brad Chappell here.
Larry Knowles.
Dust Dash.
Holla.
About a mile from the big muddy river, a place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can feel